Today I wanted to talk about, is a tattoo that says DNR on the body valid? Also, you know those medic alert bracelets or even necklaces, are those valid if they say DNR? What does DNR really mean? Do not resuscitate is what it stands for, but it doesn't mean do not treat, and not everybody knows that. That's why the tattoos are not legal and binding, and they are ignored. So back in the day, a lot of military men used to have their serial number or their blood type tattooed on their body in a couple different places, say underneath here, for example. People have gotten away from that. That is not a legal document. Again, number one is no, it's not valid because it's not legal. What makes a DNR order legal is an order by a physician. The physician is required to discuss what DNR means. It doesn't mean do not treat. So once all of this conversation is established between patient and their provider prior to any emergency or catastrophic illness, that's when you have time to really understand with your doctor what it means. Does it mean that you want no fluids? Does it mean that you want no nutrition? Does it mean no ventilation or ventilator, but you do want antibiotics? There are just a lot of different nuances that go on with a I don't want to live order. And having a tattoo on somebody's body, if the paramedics, EMTs, emergency staff see that, they're going to ignore it. They're not going to obey the tattoo and what that says. So the second reason that it doesn't count is that it's not a doctor's order. It has to be a valid physician order, and a advance directive, again, can be done ahead of time. And that can be, a card can be kept in your wallet that says you have advance directive. You can have something in your iPhone. There's an emergency app in the iPhone, a health app. That information can be put in there, and it can be uploaded. The paperwork can be uploaded into your clinic or hospital database. And make sure that you give copies to your closest relatives or friends so that they know what your wishes are. All right, so what happens if none of that is in place and there is an emergency? Again, going to ignore any tattoos. The person is going to get treated as if that tattoo isn't even there. And then be brought into the hospital and be assessed and treated for the emergency situation that is taking place. So the third reason that it doesn't count is that it's just too ambiguous. And I think that that goes along with the medic ID bracelets as well. It's too ambiguous because the person doesn't maybe necessarily fully understand what that means. So how about I want everything except pounding on the chest? Another example I'm just giving, there's just so many things that can be given, procedures, treatments, vasopressors, oxygen. Is it that you want none of that? It has to be established ahead of time. All right, so if you get into the hospital, I'm going to give you a specific example that I was involved in. So my friend, I was his medical power of attorney. He was ill with stage 4 cancer. Fever came on, was admitted to the hospital in sepsis. So I got to hear firsthand exactly what that physician is talking about. Now, I've always worked in my career in pediatrics, same kind of idea, but a little bit different with children, but with an adult who is perhaps towards the end of his life. The conversation is going to be geared towards what his wishes are at that time. So back to it's ambiguous. Also at that time, the person maybe didn't want to live that they put that tattoo on their body. Maybe it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Maybe it was at a time that they thought they weren't going to live. And then they've done very, very well and they've changed their mind, but the tattoo is permanent. So the conversation will take place with the patient in the hospital and with their family members on exactly what you want and what you don't want. Fluids. IV fluids, but not oral. There's so many specific examples. It becomes then a legal document. Once the physician has written the order, broken it down, it's a legal document. It is uploaded into the computer. It is put into the computer. It is, copies are given to the family members and the patient. How about the medical alert bracelets? I wish that this one was easy, but it's not. And when you read about it, it definitely changes depending on what year, because it seems like a great idea many years ago that the paramedics and EMTs could all come upon somebody and see that they've got this bracelet that says DNR, and they're going to respect those wishes. But that's not really the case, because again, things change, and surprise, people have tampered with other people's wishes on their bracelets. They don't want grandma to die. They're going to scratch it off. They're going to change a loved one's terminal cancer end of life order that they have talked to their doctor about and put it on a bracelet, but then somebody else has tried to remove that bracelet, or has removed that bracelet, or tampered with that bracelet. There's just so many things that go on. I find it to be really personally in the same category as a tattoo. Ignore it. It really doesn't have any validity, because it is just too, it's too many things that are going to change with those two things. The only legal binding document is the one that is an actual order from a physician after a conversation has occurred. However, you are going to see that in some states they do honor the bracelets. And so that's just a conversation with your physician to know, if I wear this bracelet and it says these things on here, which one are they going to listen to? I'm allergic to penicillin, I have a seizure disorder, and DNR. That's a whole lot going on right there. What about tattooing your blood type, or even putting your blood type on one of the necklaces or the medical alert bracelets? It's the same thing. It's not valid, because accidents happen. O positive really was supposed to be O negative. AB was supposed to be B. I mean, there's just too many things that can go wrong. And if you give the wrong blood type based on that bracelet, it can be catastrophic for that patient, and even people have died. Wrong blood type is a very big problem that needs to be avoided at all costs. So that patient would come in, and even though it might be tattooed or on a bracelet, they're going to have a lab sample sent down and properly diagnosed with the correct, or given the correct blood type that they have before any blood would be given. What are some good things to put on those medical alert bracelets or necklaces? Allergies, that's a good thing to put on there. If you have missing organs, that's also a good thing to put on there. Seizure disorder, medical devices. I wanted to go back to the blood products. What happens if a person, depending on their religion, say Jehovah's Witness, decides that it is against their wishes strongly that they get blood or blood products? Pretty much everybody knows that. They do have cards they carry with them that say no blood or no blood products, that they are Jehovah's Witnesses. I heard from our friends who are JWs that they've got something in their car that they keep in their dash area. I'll have to ask her about that and see if that's true. Am I just misremembering that? But she talked about that. Plus, they have great communication. They talk to people, their friends, and their church members. They don't call it a church, though, really, do they? But they talk and they communicate, and I think that their friends and family are going to be able to speak on their behalf, and that would be on it. By the way, we have known our Jehovah's Witness friends for, oh my goodness, I would say easily 12 years now, 13 years. They are considered some of our best friends. They are the nicest, most loving and amazing people, and I know a lot of them through the couple that we are friends with. Just saying that, they get a bad rap. I'm not saying I'm going to become a JW. I'm just saying that they're lovely people. Okay, so let's again go over the 4 reasons. Number 1, it's not a legal document to have it tattooed. And I would say also with the bracelet, but that seems to be wishy-washy in different states. It's not a legal document. It is not a doctor's order. A DNR order or an order for blood products, such as I need O positive, all of that has to be from a physician's order. The third thing is that, and fourth, it's too ambiguous. People don't quite understand that DNR does not necessarily mean do not treat. It doesn't mean do not treat. And perhaps that person, if it was explained to them, would have understood that that doesn't mean that you are going to be starved to death. It just means that maybe what you didn't want was to be put on a ventilator. And the other last thing is that the person has changed their mind. Life has a way of doing that with us. Things are constantly evolving and changing, and that might be the person's wishes one day, 1 year, one terrible moment, and that tattoo is irrelevant now at that time for that person. So it will get ignored. The proper thing to do is to treat the patient, even if it says DNR. What do you do if the person's screaming out, let me die, don't resuscitate me? The conversation has to take place. You can't ignore them on the street. The EMTs can't just ignore them and say, well, he told me not to do it. They're going to do it and save a person's life with whatever means necessary, get them over to the hospital. The conversation can then be done with the physician with the proper documentation. I hope this was helpful. Also, I went to Costco today. I haven't been there in such a long time, and I just wanted to pop in a few things. Besides that, I was really craving their butternut squash. I have had squash from Whole Foods, from the commissary, from Safeway, and the butternut squash at Costco is the best, in my opinion. I love it. So I got a couple big containers of that with some other veggies, and check out the hand soap. Okay, 4 big containers of Christmassy hand soap in a plastic dispenser. I like it better than glass. And $10. You can't go wrong with that. We didn't get any pumpkin pie. We're trying to be kind of good. That'll be in another week or two. But anyway, just making dinner. Wanted to pop on and say hello to everybody and just touch on this really important topic. Have a good evening. And if you haven't considered subscribing, please do so. Please share this information with somebody that might find this beneficial. Not everybody knows what exactly that means for a DNR order. And remember again, DNR orders, do not resuscitate, does not mean do not treat. Have a wonderful evening.